I have the privilege now of reading a letter from the President of the United States of America to the National Committee on U.S.-China Relations. So a letter from President Biden. I send my warmest greetings to everyone gathered for the 2023 National Committee on U.S.-China Relations Gala Dinner. For 57 years, your organization has brought together officials, experts, and members of civil society to foster greater conversation and cooperation on a wide range of issues between the U.S. and China. My administration is committed to maintaining this cooperation, especially on issues where the progress hinges on our common efforts. Both China and the U.S. have a duty to address transnational challenges that affect the lives of our peoples, including strengthening global food and health security, combating the climate crisis, and countering narcotics trafficking. America will also continue to responsibly manage the competition between our countries as we advance our mutual vision for a free, open, secure, and prosperous world. And we remain committed to partnering with any nation that shares our devotion to protecting the international institutions and rules of the road that have helped safeguard global security and prosperity for decades. I am grateful for the National Committee's long-standing work supporting critical channels of dialogue and debate between the U.S., China, and countries around the world. May you continue to promote peace and stability for many years to come. I have the pleasure now of welcoming a friend of the National Committee and the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to the United States of America, Ambassador Xie.
Dr. Kissinger, Secretary Geithner, President Ollins, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, everyone. It is a great pleasure to attend the Gala Dinner 2023 of the National Committee on U.S.-China Relations and get together with friends, old and new. First, I have the honor to read the congratulatory letter from His Excellency Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China. Chair Lu and President Ollins, friends, on the occasion of your Gala Dinner 2023, I wish to extend my appreciation to the National Committee on U.S.-China Relations and its members for the long-time commitment to promoting exchanges and cooperation in all fields between the two countries. I also wish to congratulate Dr. Henry Kissinger on being recognized as this year's honoree. The Chinese people will always remember his historic contribution to China-US relations. As two major countries in the world, whether China and the United States can find a right way to get along with each other bears on world peace and development, and the future of humanity. China is ready to work with the United States in the three principles of mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation to advance mutually beneficial cooperation, properly manage differences, jointly address global challenges, and to help each other succeed and prosper together to the benefit of both countries as well as the world. I hope that the National Committee and friends from all sectors will continue to care for and support China-US relations and play a constructive role in facilitating the sound and steady development of our bilateral relations. Xi Jinping, President, the People's Republic of China. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in the congratulatory letter, President Xi commended the National Committee and Dr. Kissinger for their important contribution to promoting China-US relations. He expounded on the necessity and significance of finding a right way for China and the United States to get along with each other, and reiterated China's goodwill for a sound and stable China-US relationship. President Xi noted in the letter, as two major countries in the world, whether China and the United States can find a right way to get along with each other bears on world peace and development and the future of humanity. Today, our two countries are again at a crossroads. The course of history will be shaped by whether we can draw inspiration from the past, seize the opportunities at present, and find a right way forward to create a brighter future. Throughout the history, China-US relations have kept moving forward on the whole. The past half a century and more have witnessed the China-US relationship forging ahead against all the odds. Today, our two-way trade and investment stand at $760 billion and $240 billion respectively. Over 70,000 American companies are doing business in China, and the United States has invested in nearly 80,000 projects in China. Trade between us has supported more than 2.6 million jobs in the United States. Before the pandemic, 3 million Chinese tourists visit United States annually, contributing over $30 billion. While a lot has changed in the overall context and both our countries, the historic logic underlying this growth of the China-US relationship has not changed. The importance of the relationship for our respective development and world prosperity is not to be underestimated. The aspiration of our peoples for peace and friendship is not to be dismissed. And the efforts of generations of peoples and our extensive common interests are not to be denied. While China-US relations will not return to the past, it does not mean we should start all over again, still less turning back the wheel of history. What we should do is to build on the joint efforts by generations of leaders, including Dr. Kissinger, and peoples with vision in both countries. Learn from history and forge into the future. At present, stabilizing China-US relations is a common aspiration. Recently, our two countries have had a series of high-level interactions. China has resumed group tours to the United States. Direct flights will increase to 48 every week. Dialogue and exchanges between the think tanks, provinces and states, and the legislature are on the rise. These positive signs of a more stable China-US relationship have been welcomed by various communities in our two countries, as well as the international community. If we can learn anything from the ups and downs in China-US relations over the past few years, it is that conflict between China and the United States should never be allowed. Decoupling will never work. Cold War confrontation will lead nowhere. Reversing the downward spiral is a shared wish, and messing up this relationship serves no one's interest. Meanwhile, serious difficulties and grave challenges still abound. But to our encouragement, supporters of exchanges and cooperation between China and the United States are never absent. Friends from the US business and the strategic communities have been visiting China, calling for seizing China's opportunities and further tapping its market. A few days ago, I made a trip to Muscatine, the city President Xi Jinping first visited in 1985. I am more convinced that the hope and foundation of China-US relationship lie in the people, and its future lies in the youth. It is the warm-hearted, hard-working, and open-minded American people, just like those of Iowa, who define what America truly is. Going forward, we need to find a right way for China and the United States to get along in the new era. We will be celebrating the 45th anniversary of the establishment of China-US diplomatic ties next year. The China-US relationship will continue to be the most important bilateral relationship in the world. Neither side can transform or displace the other. It is China's consistent belief that our two countries should be partners, not rivals, that we should pursue win-win game or win-win outcomes, not zero-sum game, and that we should together stabilize and improve this relationship, not allow it to slide into conflict or confrontation. The three principles outlined by President Xi Jinping, namely mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation, represent our long-term and fundamental approach to China-US relations and provide a guideline for exploring the path forward. Among these, the most important thing is that we should respect each other's core interests, and among which Taiwan and other questions that are important and sensitive should be handled in a prudent way, in accordance with the One China principle, as well as the three joint communiques between China and the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, the famous Chinese writer, more high-level interactions are underway. In 2 days, Foreign Minister Wang Yi will visit the United States. We hope the US side will work with China in the same direction, shorten the negative list, expand the positive agenda, and bring China-US relations back to the right track of sound and stable growth. Ladies and gentlemen, the famous Chinese writer Lu Xun wrote in the 1920s that there was no road in the world at the start. Just when many people walked by, a road was hence formed. President Abraham Lincoln said, "Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other one thing." The growth of China-US relations could not be achieved without the strategic guidance of our leaders, nor will it be achieved without the participation and support by people from various communities in both countries. The National Committee is a committed advocate of China-US cooperation. Dr. Kissinger is a trailblazer and icebreaker. Let me take this opportunity to again extend my warm congratulations to Dr. Kissinger for being this year's honoree. Thank you. This is a moment that again calls for the strategic courage to break out of the cocoon, the wisdom of diplomacy to seek common ground while reserving differences, and the commitment the distinguished generation has shown us who has visited while reserving differences, and the commitment the distinguished centenarian has shown us who has visited China more than 100 times, including one after his 100th birthday. I count on the National Committee and all our friends here to continue playing a leading role in restoring China-US relations back to the right track. Together, let us explore a path of win-win cooperation between China and the United States for the benefits of both peoples and the world. Thank you very much.